Crazy Russian 86 here. Welcome back to another video. Just gonna address couple things I've been watching on the internet, just some random stuff. So, first thing I've been seeing that thing popping off of my Instagram, that people shouldn't focus on high achievers. People should focus instead of this lonely guy who sits by himself at the table, meaning that that lonely person needs to have friends. And I've been addressing it for a while, but I just want to kind of talk about the same thing. I want to talk about stupid social stuff sort of thing. You know, like in my opinion, people shouldn't worry about this guy who is by himself sitting at the cafeteria, because it's not necessarily a bad thing to be all by yourself. I think that it's worse to be with the wrong people. You know, also, read something about Elon Musk, and everybody else was like hanging out and playing games and having fun. Elon Musk was like staring at the window, looking at the freaking trees and all of that. So even teachers were kind of concerned. But look what happened to Elon Musk. He's like the wealthiest man or close to it, you know. And he's been bullied and everything, and he's autistic, right? But in spite of that, he had an interest in whatever, and there's a Tesla and SpaceX. I'm not saying that this lonely guy is gonna be necessarily a millionaire or whatever. It depends. And I'm not saying that this lonely guy is gonna have problems. All I'm saying is this: different strokes for different folks. And all I'm saying is loneliness is not necessarily a bad thing. Because when you're lonely, you can focus on things, you can figure out what you want, you can set up your own trends. Versus if you're around people, you have to be certain way, you need to act certain way, against your will. And it may not work for you. Also, being around people that give you people the room to bully you because you're different from them. So a lot of times being by yourself is not necessarily a bad thing, you know. You have to eliminate that mentality that, being lonely is bad. Everybody needs somebody. Yeah, but, people also had a lot of wars and problems because everyone is different, you see. So it's like you shouldn't be feeling bad about this lonely kid at the table. Because maybe he doesn't want friends. Maybe he doesn't fit in, you know. So it's not for everybody, because there are always requirements. And you see, you're lonely, but you're free. And you just do your own thing. Versus if you want to be around people, you need to abide social rules. You need to act certain way. You need to be certain way, against your will. And if you say people fuck you because I don't like the way you roll or whatever, guess what? You're gonna be by yourself, back to square one, you see. Another thing I wanna address is people pleasing. I've been watching this video, or reel should I say, about this Russian psychologist. He was talking about, pretty much it was a short reel about like how, somebody is trying to please other people while people treat that person like shit. You see how it is? Like, and I've been talking about that about Lizzie in my previous videos too. Like, whatever you think is people pleasing is not necessarily gonna be people pleasing. You have to communicate that, because you may think that, okay, the more you suffer, the more it shows you really care. Just like Dexter from Offspring said in his song Self-Esteem, you know. But it's not necessarily the case, because maybe you suffer for nothing. You need to communicate, because you think that, your suffering is gonna make somebody else, show your worth or whatever the fuck that is. But maybe that person is gonna look at you like, why doing this stupid shit? Why even suffering? Maybe, and who told you this is what I want from you? Maybe that the other person doesn't even think about it like that. You're looking at you like, oh my God. Just like long time ago, Lydia was probably thinking, I want to motivate you. I want to move faster, so we'll move a bit together, so get a new life, And I'm looking at her like, and she's getting hurt by doing that. I'm looking at her like, fuck, you stupid girl doing this stupid shit. I didn't want you to hurt yourself. now she doesn't have money, so I have to pay for her fucking medical bills. Fuck that. This is what I was thinking that time, 8 years ago. I was not thinking, oh, she's suffering because she want to show that you want to move and start a new life. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking like, fuck, this bitch doing some stupid shit. She doesn't have money. She's gonna get hurt, so I have to pay her fucking medical bills. That's what I was thinking about, you see? Because there's nobody else gonna do it. I'm like, fuck, I have a girlfriend, I have to pay medical bills for that bitch. Like, fuck, that shit is crazy. Like, it's gonna destroy me financially. That's what I was thinking about, you see? And I was thinking like, okay, we're not moving fast enough when it comes to moving. Why do we need to fucking rush? I'm not killing myself for shit, you see? That's the example about people pleasing. So, if you're thinking about pleasing other people, you need to think first, what does people pleasing means to other person? Maybe they don't look at things the same way as you do. You see, just like that lonely kid, it's a perspective. You feel sorry for the kid because he is lonely, but at the same time, why do you need to feel sorry for that kid? Maybe if that kid had a lot of friends, he would be always angry and pissed off and frustrated because he will feel like he needs to fulfill expectations of other people. While when he's by himself and he's lonely, he does what he wants, he acts any way he wants. He doesn't have to take shit from people. As long as, he has money, he can survive, he has food on the table. He doesn't need, to fulfill social expectations of other people, You can just do your own thing and fuck everybody else, But if you want to sit with somebody else with this kid, I'm like, oh, I feel sorry for this kid, he's lonely. And then you start talking to him, and then it's like, okay, maybe you'll find the reason why he's lonely. Maybe he's happier that way, you see? Because then it's like, okay, you need to talk to people because you need to stop being weird, you see? You need to stop being weird, you need to stop being yourself. You see how that is? You need to stop being yourself because being yourself is not good. But what if you being yourself is not somebody whom people want to associate with, you see? It takes two to tango, you see? It's like we're not meant as individuals to, to click with everybody, you see? I mean, it's good to learn social norms and rules, like what I'm learning now, like, because sometimes, like, it's a big in America, like, you don't need to be an asshole to get your way with people. You can say the same things calmly and not in, like, offensive way and all of that. But you see, like, in order to do that, like, it takes a lot of, it takes certain mentality, certain upbringing, you see, it takes certain, like, personality. Because, like, sometimes, like, people get angry out of ego because, they just like, how dare you can say this? But you're like, oh, you're weird, but you can't show off, you can't be like that. You see, it's like right there, people speak different languages. People focus what's wrong with you, and I'm focused like, okay, what needs to be done to get the job done, what works, You see, it's like a different approach to things, different mentality. And also to become around people, yeah, it works better, you don't aggravate people, but at the same time, it's like, it's really comes down to the different thing. It's just like different way of like expressing ourselves. And this is what really cultural difference is all about. It's all about like, it's like the truth is everywhere, the truth, no matter where it is. Africa, Russia, America, whatever. But like I've been saying too, like in different parts of the world, people just express themselves in a different ways. That's what it all comes down to. And it kind of matters, because like, people like different ways of expressing themselves, you see? And that's how I feel it is, Because like different ways are not really compatible with each other, you see? And that's why like being lonely is not bad. It's worse to be with the wrong people, you see? And people pleasing is not good because you think that you please other people, but you really don't. You see, communication is the key because you need to talk to people first to find out what they're all about, to figure out what does it mean to please that person. Because a lot of times you don't know. You think that you know what does it takes to please other person, but you really don't unless you communicate with that person, unless you like really interact with them. But also with the communication, you also need to know that not every time people's gonna say the truth too, because you can communicate things to people, tell people and say, hey, why you acting weird, for example. But person may not tell you the truth because, you know, maybe it's against his culture or the way he thinks about things or whatever, or the way he was brought up, and he doesn't want to tell you how he feels like because he doesn't want to offend you, see? So it's good to communicate, but you need to know like when to communicate with people. That's what really it all really comes down to, you know. So things just like not that easy, you know. We're all different, and it's just like with all the social stuff, it's just not that easy, you know. You just have to like know when to communicate, know when not to communicate, you know. And you have to understand that pleasing people, what means pleasing people to you may not seem what to be pleasing people to other person. For somebody, loneliness means something bad. For some other people, loneliness may something which may be good. Even my mom used to tell me when I was a teenager back in Russia that for me to be all by myself, to be lonely is a good thing because of the way I am. I've been watching this guy Yuri Antonov, who has similar personality to me yesterday, and I like his music too. But I like his personality too because Yuri Antonov, he reminds me of myself. He has similar personality. Because that guy, he doesn't take shit from people. He wants to act how he wants. He doesn't give a fuck about social stuff. None of that. He just wants to do his own thing. And that's why he is lonely. And he is old and lonely. He's fucking 80 years old. And he is lonely all by himself with the money. A lot of people may feel bad for him. I don't. But you see, he's lonely, but he has a lot of money and he's popular. You see how it is? And he doesn't take shit from people. And I'm looking at him like, I don't feel bad for him that he's lonely. I'm looking at him like, fuck, this man does whatever the fuck he wants to do. He acts any way he wants to act. And he doesn't take shit from people. And he has a lot of money. And I'm looking at him like, well, he's a man. He has his life made. And the fact that he has a difficult relationship with people, well, fuck it. Less aggravation, less bullshit, more freedom.